Pickaxe.
Hello and welcome to 0 Degrees, the podcast with no qualifications where we solve your complications. I'm Harry and I'm joined by Lydia and Ravs and Ross.
Hello.
How are we all doing?
Not too bad.
I'm good.
Wait,
good,
did you say
Harry.
no degrees?
We got no degrees at this podcast.
Not a single one.
Is that? Does that include guests? Because I
Wait,
may have broken your. I didn't.
Wait,
I wasn't asked
what the
beforehand.
fuck, Ross? Do you have a degree?
Oh my god, I feel so embarrassed.
What kind of degree do you have?
What the fuck?
That's
You some kind of
Um,
nerd?
That's
Yeah, I am. I'm a big nerd. I got a first and everything. It was a TV
Oh,
and film.
first?
Yeah,
He's a first degree.
but not in like
Oh.
anything. Not in anything serious. Like it was TV and film production.
That's pretty,
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it's
okay.
pretty
So
applicable,
it's like
at
kind of like
least.
it's like someone doing art or geography. It's kind of like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
An A means.
You
So-
could have
so-
lied there and just said, you know,
I have no
nuclear
degrees.
physics, nuclear physics done,
Yeah, we
super
wouldn't believe you.
intelligent, scientist.
Yeah.
Nuclear physics. My goodness. And
Why
I do
not?
this for a living. I do the YouTubes and be a silly clown online.
It's a good.
It's possible.
It's all right.
It's plausible.
No.
I'm sure there are very successful people.
No, fortunately,
Online
you're not
being
the first
idiots.
person on this podcast with a degree. We've already
Ah,
had
okay.
we've already had Pyrian and Simon.
Pyrian.
Pyrian has a
Mhm.
degree. Simon
Okay.
didn't actually complete his degree, so he counts, I guess,
Okay.
as a
Yeah.
0 degree. But yeah, collectively, me, Ravs, and Lydia, no degrees. Was that,
No degrees.
Does that surprise you or not?
No, I would never have even questioned it. You all seem equally stupid. No, you all seem very smart people. I would never even thought about it. But to be fair, I don't really think it comes into it like smartness and
No,
you know,
it's about life
degree.
experiences,
Like a lot of
right?
people can get a
Mm.
degree. It depends on what it is. Like,
Mm.
yeah.
I mean, you
you
got
were
first, Ross. That,
Yeah,
so
I did
it
get a
just
first,
shows,
but
right?
that's because just making films and stuff is different. I didn't require any kind of maths or knowing how to say words or write good. So
You
there
just
go.
hold camera and point it at Chris Trott.
Hold
It
camera,
seems to be
point
what
it at
I've,
Chris Trott. Yeah,
seen.
yeah. And that's it. And I still do that
And it's
10
still
years later.
working. It's still working.
10
to this
years
day.
later, 11 years later.
Did Trott also get a first?
It
Nice,
was
okay.
our final year project.
Oh, nice.
Together.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I mean, that
Okay.
does mean he's now not
Aw.
allowed in this podcast. If I'd known this before,
Well,
Ross
there you
would have
go.
been invited.
Mhm.
Shit, I've thrown him under the bus there. Smith, I think.
pretty-
I think he has one as well.
Is it
Yeah.
first as well?
I don't think he got a first, but
Nah, I
you
don't.
can ask
He
him.
doesn't
what he got.
strike me as a first.
I love that. Us with
Ooh, ouch.
literally no degrees. It's I had
Yeah,
judging.
slagging him off.
If I could just
Dropped out
judging people with
twice.
degrees. Fuck's sake. So, Ross, you were saying before we went live that you've
Mhm.
you were listening to a couple episodes of 0 Degrees.
Yeah, I
getting a
listened
feel for
to
it.
first and last, so your very first one, just to get a kind of a feel of it, because I haven't listened. I've got loads of podcasts that I'm kind of trying to get through,
For sure.
So I listened to the first one and then listened to the last one, and so yeah, got a spectrum of ideas
Yeah.
of how this podcast goes. Interesting questions.
I feel like at times it
Um,
can end up in quite a hat chatty place, but equally, that's mainly led by the awfulness of the questions we're getting sent in to just become
Yeah.
rambling nonsense about philosophical stuff. So
We-
it does go
yeah.
to the similar
Because we
place as
tried
Hat Chat.
this. We tried this in a format we called Hat Daddies a few years back,
Oh.
2018.
Hat
I think it was.
Hello.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was like an agony aunt style thing, but some of the questions they sent in were got really real and like
Oh,
kind
no.
of depressing to the point where we were like, we've lost the funny here.
Yeah.
So we kind of just let that
Mm.
one go to rest for a bit.
I mean,
but
we've,
I think
we've
you've got a
had nearly
different vibe here.
600
You've had a
questions
different
now.
vibe.
Like,
Yeah.
the quantity of questions sent in and just the variety. Like
Yeah,
some of them
yeah.
are the most mundane, terrible questions you've ever seen, and other ones are literal A4 pages of like, I'm a furry and I'm loving it and it's great and
Yeah.
it's just
I'm
stuff you
fucking
never
my
want
two
to know.
boyfriends.
It's awful. It's awful stuff. I guess speaking of which, should we just get into a question? Should we just bang one out?
Yeah.
Let's bang one out.
Yeah? Bang one out. Someone want to grab
Yeah.
one? Who wants to go first?
Why don't we
Alright,
let the
hold on.
guest? Why don't we let the guest?
Shall I choose one? Okay.
Do the honours.
Are we going to make the guest do the heavy lifting
I
on the
can-
very
I
first
can-
question?
Yes.
Instantly putting
He's-
you to
Read one.
work.
He's got a first, okay? All
I've got
right,
a- I
this
can
should
read
be
that
sort of
easy.
first.
I know how to read words. Kind of.
Okay.
Enough. I can read them enough.
I go for it. Choose one of
Okay,
these questions.
I'm going to choose one at complete random,
Go for it.
based on the length, because Jesus Christ, some of these are long. Okay, here we go. Hiya, I like you all. I'm a gamer. Oh, I, like you all, I'm a gamer, but I've come to a point in my life where I don't feel fulfilled by just sitting inside all day, every day. I started dating and painting, but I still feel like I don't get out enough. Have you guys felt in the same way before? And if so, what did you do to help yourself?
Oh, what a
Okay, that
like
seems like
pleasant,
quite a-
normal question.
What a
There's
fucking
nothing
normal
like-
question. How the
With
fuck?
expecting a
What
twist
the
in there, it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah,
So
usually the questions are fucked. So that's
like that.
actually refreshing.
It's
So
a
they've
nice-
exhausted themselves with gaming and stuff, and now they're getting out there and doing some kind of creative stuff and
See,
dating.
When I picked this question, I was thinking like, is this like, it's a depressing thought, but like, is this like the getting old, of gaming?
Yeah.
You're getting old and like, everyone's playing Fortnite and Apex now and Roblox and you're remembering the younger days when you played gaming and everything bores you. I think that might be what this is.
Maybe. I mean, we all play games for a living, and I get fatigued with certain games. Definitely, like if you play something for so long. I mean, we did it with Minecraft, where we played it to death, and like eventually you're like, right, I'm going to go touch grass now and go outside and see what the world is like, and say, oh shit, okay, I'm going to go back inside now. Actually, after that, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it depends on what like they like doing, right? Like, what would you
I feel like
recommend?
it's weird when you commit a long time,
done
like
with
period of your
gaming?
life doing gaming, and then you suddenly like have a break where you're not gaming. It feels wrong. It doesn't feel right. You're like, oh, I had this constant in my life, but it's fine. I feel like you go through phases. Sometimes you're just really into doing this thing. Sometimes you're doing this thing. It doesn't have to stay the same, right? Like, and equally, it sounds like they replaced gaming with like some pretty cool, positive things, like doing dating and dating. Sounds good. I don't feel like this isn't a problem. This is a brag. Why are
I
they
guess
bragging
they're
to
asking for
us?
suggestions, I guess. Like, what do you guys do instead of gaming? Drinking?
God.
Yeah, it kind of is drinking.
We like
Drinking.
drinking. I don't know. I definitely get what this person's saying. Like, you do get kind of like Stockholm syndrome, cabin fever. Like, you've been indoors all day just playing games day after day. You do start to feel like really like restless and like agitated almost. I'm terrible at like motivating myself to go out and do anything though. But yeah, I would say probably literally going to the pub with you guys. So
That's no, but that at its heart, that's being around friends, that's hanging out,
Yeah.
that's like human interaction. That's really good, positive stuff, right?
yeah,
Like,
apart from the 8 pints.
I mean, that's also bad. But I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they do their like kind of social interaction online on Discord and
Yeah.
stuff. A lot of people game in the evenings, their friends. Like I feel like we're kind of almost old school in the fact that we don't. Like, I don't chat around. I don't chat to you on Discord.
No.
No, not
So
really.
fucking chat to you so much at the pub. I'm just like, cool, like chilling.
Well, they
Yeah,
can
I
get a
think,
dog
like-
if they want to go outside, because that's a chunky day.
Has that changed
Walking
your
dogs.
life for us? Has having a dog kind of
Yeah,
changed
no,
your life?
in a
that
way, yeah. Because you have to kind
Yeah.
of get used to like. Also, you kind of have to train yourself, because when you're training the dog as well, you kind of have to train yourself to behave in a certain way and treat your dog in a certain way so that he behaves himself and doesn't
Yeah.
like tear everything up in the house. But obviously,
Yeah.
and also you kind of, pick up habits to, go walking like regularly, which is a positive thing.
I guess it also makes your
That's
life
pretty good.
scheduled.
Health-wise,
Like
anyway.
you've got to constantly be doing these things.
Yeah, the daunting thing before we got a dog was just like, that was the one thing I didn't like doing was going for walks with the dog. In terms, it was nice on the occasion when I was with my parents and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'll go occasionally, but it's not my responsibility. Now, like beforehand, I was like, oh man, I'm going to walk all the time. And now it's like fine because it's become a habit and it's become like a part of my day and routine. So it's a good thing. And obviously, like it's the type of things where you break through a certain barrier and you're like, yeah, I actually really enjoy this. It's good. And obviously, he's happy. So that's cool.
Aw. There
Yeah,
you
it's
go.
good for him.
There's the
Yeah, so
advice
get a
from
pet
someone with a
or-
first in
Yeah.
the university is to get a dog. Problem
Yes.
solved. Boom.
Or
Yeah.
at least become a dog walker and charge.
Oh yeah,
Some,
Oh,
some
yeah,
good
that's
money.
also an
you could do
option.
that. I used to do that as like a volunteering thing, and I loved it. It was great because I
Yeah.
couldn't have a dog, so I would like go and volunteer at doggy daycare places and
Yeah,
help
I'm
them
sure
walk
loads
their
of people
dogs.
want it now.
Did you ever do it like Daniel Radcliffe level though, where he has like the 8 million dogs
Just
on leashes like on his
smoking.
belt and stuff, and he's like smoking?
Oh,
Was that
I
like how you
wish.
would do it?
There were times where you would be walking. I can't remember what the limit now was now, but it was something like you had a limit of like 6 or maybe it was even 8
That's
dogs
a
at
lot
one
of
time.
dogs.
Oh my
You would
God,
have
that's
so
a
many
lot of
dogs with
dogs.
you. And also, when I ever like stop to think about it, I think, fucking hell, actually, this is a huge responsibility. Like, you know, people's dogs are like their children, their lives. And imagine if I just accidentally like let go of the leash and it ran away and never came back. I would have all these like intrusive thoughts whilst I'm walking them, like, don't lose this dog, don't lose this fucking dog.
Oh my God, yeah.
Especially if
That's the
they
other
have
side of
bad
things.
recall and like you let them off the lead and stuff like that.
Were they
Yeah.
big dogs? Were you doing like? Are these like? Are we talking like pretty small dogs?
It was
like
a mastiff.
8 big
Maybe
dogs.
it- maybe it wasn't
Preschool dogs,
a-
Harry.
preschool dogs.
Going to dog school.
Dog school, yeah.
Maybe it wasn't 8, maybe it was 6. Sometimes they were small, sometimes they were huge. I had one dog literally, and I'm like a big gal, literally holding onto its lead. I went flying into the air, landed like vertical flat on the floor, and it dragged me across a park. I think it was like a massive, what are they, like retriever or Labrador
Saint
or
Bernard
something.
Jesus,
something
that's-
big and strong and energetic.
Fuck me. It's got 8
That's the one
Saint
from
Bernards, by the way,
Beethoven,
just
right?
walking.
But yeah, so that was a good thing though. That did like get me out of the house and stuff like that. So I do think if you have a reason to go out for a walk, it makes it much more bearable. If it's like,
Definitely,
I need
yeah.
to go for a walk today, you're like,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but
really
there's
be
also
fucked.
there's a motivation
There's
there.
There's something to be said for like going on walks or being around other people that makes you feel like a part of society. And sometimes after I feel like on like a weekend of just like heavy gaming where like I haven't left the flat, I've just like been sat on my computer playing games. You just kind of forget the real world exists for a little bit, and it's nice. It's nice to have that escapism, but you do feel a little bit like you go outside and you're like, oh fuck, there's like, especially in Bristol, there's an entire city just like kind of happening over here. So I feel like that's an important kind of.
Yeah, I really like
Yeah,
a good
definitely.
mix. Like the person also needs to bear in mind that they've literally just been stuck in their house for like 2+ years because of COVID. Like that's probably why they're not really feeling it with games and stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And like getting back out there is nice. Like, you know, going out, being safe obviously, but like having a walk, doing these cool hobbies, like that's fucking sick. Like you should do stuff like that. It's kind of fun, you know, and
Nice.
not cursed.
There's always knife
nice.
fights. You could get into
Knife fight.
Dog fighting.
nighttime
Get
knife
your 8
fights.
dogs.
Oh, okay.
Get into dog
Knife
fighting.
fighting. Dog
Yeah.
fighting is I mean,
At nighttime. At nighttime.
at nighttime, only at
Yeah.
nighttime.
At
So you've got the
Yeah.
day for your painting, nighttime for the knife fights.
Yeah.
Write that
There
one
we
down.
go. All right.
Write that
Solved.
All right, let's move on to the next question.
Bam, easy.
Easy. Solved. Dear 0 Degrees, I'm an excessively hairy young man, particularly my chest and back. I'm always shedding those curly little chest hairs. To be blunt, they look like pubes. I've recently moved into uni accommodation early, and I'm already finding these little pseudo pubes everywhere. It's just me in the flat at the minute. Should I clarify to my soon-to-be classmates that they aren't my pubes? Should I let their minds wander? Please help. Please note, my pubes and chest hair are the same colour, so a demonstration wouldn't prove anything.
Demonstration.
So they're worried about
Okay.
pubes or hair. That's the scenario.
I think they're worried about the
Explaining
idea
themselves.
that their pubes are going, which they kind of are. Chest hairs are kind of still pubes, right?
They're not
Yeah.
pubes.
I guess,
They're
I mean,
only pubes if they're your pubic hair.
Yeah, they need to be in your pubic region to
Yeah.
be pubes.
But they're all kind of the same.
But like, you can have. I would say I don't have like necessarily puby chest hair.
You can say
You know?
I don't have pubes.
Like you get
I
get
don't
people.
really know.
I feel like right now I have to look. Like,
Would you say that that's puby? Is that puby? I don't
I'm-
know.
Wait,
I'm not that
wait.
cute.
Wait, do it. Wait, I
don't
missed.
feel that.
Wait, where are you? I forgot. I've lost the
I'm
videos.
like a little
oh,
bit.
yeah.
videos have cut off. I can't. She's
I can't.
suddenly trying
I'm
to get the
desperately trying to find
tabs
you
up.
again.
Where
oh, there you are.
are you? You're
Okay.
showing them.
Is that puby? I don't feel like that's very
I don't
puby.
say that's
No,
puby,
no,
but
it's-
you are
that's
quite
quite maney.
hairy.
It's
I would
quite
say that's
maney.
Yeah.
long and straight
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than like curly pubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I'm picturing this person's covered in like curly body hair.
God.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
curly, thick. You know.
Yeah, curly thick hair.
You don't have
How
to
about
get
you,
yours
Ross? Have you
out,
got
Ross.
pubes?
But what are you dealing with?
Sorry, yes, I do. I do have pubes. Also got a hairy
Okay.
chest, but no, I don't have a hairy back. That's like I remember my friend had a quite a rug of a back, and
Oof.
he was quite self conscious about it. But I feel like if you own it, it's fine. Like it's one of those things where it's like, well, they're not pubes, bro. That's part of my body. It's like body hair is like normal, so it's like there isn't anything to be ashamed of. I mean, he used to get his waxed, which looked so fucking painful.
Oh, I bet that was really fucking
On
painful.
the back, like he used to do that like semi regularly, and it's just like I don't think anyone cares. So it's just like, I mean, unless someone asks and specifically goes, hey bro, like what's this tiny little curly one, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to be rummaging through your bit, like your
I mean,
stuff
Yeah, it's still a little bit
to
of
that
hair.
degree.
Maybe a little more
And
salty.
it's just like, if you're
but-
living there, like it's going to happen. Like, yeah.
Let's pose it from like the POV of like.
Let's say you've
one
got a
of
dog.
his-
Fuck it.
Let's say you've got a dog. I've got a dog in my
Fuck it.
Dog's
closet.
solving everything at the
Yeah,
moment.
there we go. Let's get the dogs involved.
Imagine you're his flatmate or their flatmate, and you're going in, and you are just finding these fucking tiny little puby hairs everywhere in the kitchen, in your fucking living
In the
room, in your
food.
shower.
All over your
In your cup
soul.
of tea.
I would be like, this is fucking gross. Like, who's like ruffling their pubes in my fucking cereal? What's going on?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I do feel like you've got to establish so that they don't think
Oh.
you're like a massive asshole.
Boundaries, yeah. Wear a t-shirt. Wear something that, I mean, because
Yeah.
more often than not, like your hair's not going to go all over the place if you're covered. I mean,
Yeah.
unless it's really like you're shaking your shirt off and it's coming off, then sure, maybe that's worth going to a doctor at that point. I don't know. But I don't think, I think if you've got a shirt on, you should be fine.
Just stop
I don't know.
rubbing your chest like
Unless
your
you're
big
just like, you're
hairy
combing
chest.
combing them out.
Also, have you just got like white carpet everywhere or something, so your like pube hairs just stand out? Like, what's going on here? Like,
Yeah, avoid the whites.
How are
yeah.
you finding them everywhere?
Yeah, how are
And
you
also,
finding
like,
chest
clean your
hair
bathroom
everywhere?
after you shave or whatever the fuck. Like,
Yeah.
that way they'll feel less of it around.
Or you can
I-
get just one of those like air canisters that you use to clean your keyboard and just spray
Oh.
it everywhere. Really go to town, then get a Hoover.
And then
Simple,
do it on your
simple.
own body as well. Get rid of all the
Yeah.
little loose ones.
Cleaning tips, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
I think that would honestly make you think your flatmate's even more psychotic. Sorry, mate. What are you doing?
spraying the
I'm
sides.
just hosing down my puby hairs in the flat.
Oh.
Like fucking what?
Okay, then. Right.
I wonder. I wonder. It kind of makes a difference who this flatmate is, because I don't know if it's like another hairy guy, and you're like, oh, dude, just so you know, these are not pubes. I swear to God, I just have a hairy chest. And then it would just be like a really throwaway conversation, and you'd move on. But maybe it would be weird if it's like, I don't know, this young woman, and you're like, these are
Timid to
pubes.
ask, yeah.
And she's like, okay. And then she thinks these are definitely pubes. Like, I don't know. It kind of depends who the person is. I feel like how they
Need
might
context.
react.
Yeah, context on the
Yeah.
scenario where they're finding them. Like, if you find them
Can
in
you
your
just,
tea
like-
or food, you'll be like, well, hang on, this is cause for concern.
Yeah.
Can you not kind of set up a scenario where you can like walk out of the shower in a bathrobe, like your big hairy chest and back on show, like oh no, everyone knows that I'm really hairy now, and then done. Conversation doesn't even need to happen. People are just aware. People are aware of the hair.
Yeah, first night, everyone get drunk.
Yeah.
Mention it on the slide.
Top come off a little bit.
Yeah.
Top goes back on. Done.
There's also,
Solved.
the alternative where you just twink it the fuck up, man, and you just get full body wax. Just get rid of it all. Just start walking around being smooth as fuck. It will suck,
That
but
was fucking hell. Oh, you could
just
shave it.
Yeah, but the
That's less
growing back,
painful.
oh.
Yeah.
Like
It's the
not that-
ingrowns.
actually, you know what? I was about to say not that you have to shave it, but although the times they are changing, women have been socially pressurized into shaving their body for fucking ever. So you know what? He can shave his chest. He can shave his
can.
chest. Get rid of your hairy puby chest. Shave it.
That swimmer's chest.
Come on, hair aware.
Hair
Shave it.
aware. Hair
No,
aware.
wait. Hair aware is all
wait,
about
yeah.
everyone having body hair. It's
Everyone
not about
has hair.
Yeah,
reversing
wait, no,
the
you
roles.
can't. You can't reverse this around.
We should be just encouraging
Everyone
everyone
has to
to have
shave
body
now.
hair.
But
not how it works.
I don't know. Just let your hairy puby
Your
body
pubes run free.
Let
Just
them run
whatever
free.
whatever you do, you can't start the conversation by picking up a hair from the kitchen floor and going, "This isn't my pubes, by the way," because everyone is going to think it's your pubes.
Yeah, they'll think
Just
it's your
like,
pubes.
You can't do that.
They'll immediately
Yeah. Because when you're defensive
Free
about
the
it,
pubes.
super defensive, you're like, oh, this isn't a pube, honest. And
Yeah, you
you'd be like,
can't
well, all
respond.
you'll remember and think of is, that's the guy with the pubes.
That's
It's
the
like,
guy
The pube
And
guy.
so you need to be subtle about
Especially
it.
if it's like one really long curly one. It's gonna be like, that's definitely a pube.
Absolutely a pube.
Brutal.
Christ.
Well, good
okay.
Fuck, solved it.
Good
solved
luck.
it again.
Good luck.
Let's
Easy,
know it
easy
goes, I
solved.
guess.
So,
Right.
Don't send pictures though.
no need. Who needs pictures of that? You don't, it's okay.
I've met a lovely girl who I get on really well with. We've been on a couple of dates that went great. She has a great personality, we have similar geeky interests, and I find her pretty attractive. The only problem is that I find the way she yawns absolutely repulsive. It's very loud, and the sound is unpleasant in a way that is hard to describe. How do I get over this? I don't want to ruin a potentially great relationship over something so petty. And it's obviously not something she can control, but the sound of her yawn makes my stomach lurch. Please help.
I can't even imagine what that sounds like.
Let's imagine.
What
Stomach
do you think that
lurching.
sounds like? Can we
Like
all
that?
do it?
I feel like it's putting noise in when you don't need to. Like a yawn shouldn't be that noisy.
No,
She's
it shouldn't
probably
be. It's gonna be-
forcibly adding noise. Wait.
I don't. Yeah, to stomach lurching levels. Is that the volume? Is it this? Is it like high pitched?
Also, for this to be a deal breaker, Ross, this has
I
to be
know.
a deal breaker.
This is insane. It's like that's a. I mean, God. I mean, my sneezes are loud, and that's the one thing that I get called up on. Is like, you sneeze too loudly, and I just can't hold them in.
You can't fix
Surely
these
you're not-
I don't think
things.
it's a deal breaker.
Surely you're not
scenario.
faking it though.
No, I tried. It's just I can't hold them in because I feel like I'm going to get an aneurysm. And I've read somewhere that there is a very, very tiny percentage chance of that happening, and I don't want to be that tiny
Thank you for that
percent
new
chance.
fear. Thank you
So
so much.
I'm just saying,
I'm scared now.
I don't want to hold my sneeze in, so I'll let it out. But I sneeze like 4 times in a row every time, and so that is
hell.
sometimes that is brought up. But my partner will say that she'll say, "Well, that's an annoying thing," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll leave
Please
it.
don't fucking sneeze
If
it.
it's convenient for me, I'll just do it in the hallway."
Do you guys ever
You
have one of
leave
those
the room to
sneezes?
sneeze.
Well, not if I'm sat down and I'm doing something, sure. But like if I'm like stood near the door, I'm like, I'll just do it over here because it's not as loud and annoying in someone's ear. Do you know
But
what I mean?
what if you're like mid like?
So she should. So is that the advice? She should leave the room when she yawns,
She should leave
or
the
he
room.
should just get juiced up on coffee. Energy drinks.
I am
Never yawn.
absolutely on your partner's side though, Ross, because what is
What?
it with men and their dramatic fucking sneezing? You don't
hate
need to
it.
make all that noise.
hate
You
it.
sneeze and it's a true kind of noise. If you're going, boo, and putting in loads
No.
of fucking dramatic orchestra in it,
No,
that's your own shit.
I can't help it. I try
I'm here
to.
to fight for this, man, because I was just about to say, like, have you guys ever had those sneezes that when you sneeze, it like fucking feels like it's rocked your whole body? You just feel
Yeah.
like sore, and you're just like, ah!
What the
like,
fuck?
you
I don't think that's a
basically pull
sneeze, Raps.
You basically pull a fucking muscle when you sneeze. That's how hard I'm sneezing, man. My sneeze is loud as fuck. Like,
Got a lot of
there's
sneeze to get out, man. You know,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
If I could never sneeze again, I'd choose that option. I hate sneezing.
It
I don't
feels
like doing
good
it.
though. I like a sneeze.
it's amazing, the
sure, but I
satisfaction.
sneezed too many times. If I'm like in the middle of something, if I'm driving, that's the worst.
Oh,
Like,
that's
fuck, like,
scary.
you can't really close your
Oh,
eyes.
that's
You're
scary.
but the volume wise,
crashing
I try
truck.
to control the volume, but like it's like the rush of air just like ruins my vocal cords, and I just it's like a choo. It's so strong. And I
But
hate
Ross, I
it.
think you've been Pavlov's
annoyed
dog
about
into
it.
not liking sneezing through this kind of
I
get
just
out
don't
of
like
the
it.
room to sneeze. We need
It's
to
the
free
four-
I
It's
think
the
you're being
4 in a
you're
row.
being sneeze shamed, Ross,
You
and
need
you need to be
sneezing
proud
rights.
of your sneezing.
Shit.
Yeah.
I should be, shouldn't I?
Stand up for sneezing.
God, I should sneeze
Stand
right
with
in
Ross.
Lydia's face next time.
I
She loves
stand
it,
with
clearly.
Ross also.
Have you seen that like Twitch new thing where like people are clipping streamers who sneeze and like jacking off to it because they're
What?
turned on by people sneezing?
No. Oh my God.
I
Men
started
sneezing?
muting my mic
Not
every time
men
I sneeze
sneezing.
now. It's like, no.
What? But like a shot? Is it the noise or is it like the shotgun blast of snot that does it for them?
I
Like,
don't know.
what is it?
Like watching girls or anyone, I guess, sneeze just turns them on. I mean, apparently a sneeze is 1/8 of an orgasm. So maybe they're just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
I was going
you
to say that. I
dirty
wonder if
girl.
that's the perverse mind behind it. It's like, oh, there's a tiny. Oh, it's like just having an orgasm, a tiny,
She's had a
tiny
bit
amount.
of an orgasm.
Record it quickly, like Christ. The things we want to get off
That is so sad. That is the saddest
I
thing
know.
I've ever heard.
Super pathetic. Oh, but on
Anyway,
that note, Ross,
this
you're
isn't
having
yours.
half an orgasm every time you do 4 sneezes, right? Is that right?
true.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel pleasurable. It feels annoying because it's just if I'm focused on something, it's just a distraction. It takes
Do you
me
get
out
like a
of it.
little
It takes
bit
me
of
out of it.
pre-cum from that much?
Yeah, I do. It's honestly, I just mess my pants
That's
every
why he
time.
has to leave the room. That's the
I'm
real.
gonna
That's
leave
the
for a
real
reason.
reason.
Yeah, I need to go get some tish or something.
There's
Jesus.
so much fucking, there's just so much jism everywhere.
Yeah, it's obviously it's a messy sneeze. That's why.
It's a nightmare when he's
I'm
driving.
like, especially when I'm
Nightmare.
driving. Oh God.
Wheel gets all sticky
this is a
and-
tangent from the yawning. So the yawning thing. How do we solve that problem?
Oh, right. Yes. It's tricky, right? I think it's quite a common problem where, especially when you like first move in with a partner or you've been living with someone, that there's like a certain habit they have that drives you up the fucking wall. And it's just something that they are unconsciously doing. And how do you navigate that? Because like with you, Ross, you can't help but sneeze, but at the same time, if it's really fucking annoying, then, you know, you want to like have a compromise or whatever.
Yeah, I'm aware of it and I've been told about it and I'm like, sure. Fair enough.
Get fucked.
And
Get
yeah,
fucked.
and now you have a weapon.
Bitch.
You have a weapon. You're like,
Harry and
Just
Ravs, have
end.
you had this issue before?
No, but I get very annoyed by people who have like fake sneezes or yawns.
Achoo!
You know, where like they yawn and it's like a fucking anime character. It's like, yeah, like fuck off. Or like, or they sneeze and they go like, achoo.
The tiny little cutesy ones.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck you. That's not real.
It's not real.
Like, fuck,
Just let
like,
it out.
Fuck off.
Let it go
Screen
now.
cap
Yeah.
those
Come
ones.
on.
Let it happen. You're going to give yourself an aneurysm, Ross has just told us.
Let it out. That's what I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes I can embellish them. I can go crazy with it, like a shout, like a.
Do you have like hand movements to like follow? Like,
yeah, it's like waving gestures. Yeah.
do you like to sneeze from like a horizontal or a vertical position, Ross?
A vertical's awful.
It's awful.
Because you kind of like tense up and you go like, ugh. I don't know. Whereas I prefer to kind of stand and like project.
That might
Really
be why I'm
push it
getting
out.
like the destroy my whole body sneezes, because I'm usually like lying down or something when I sneeze.
Yeah, that's not optimal sneezing position right there, Ravs.
Not for the neck. Not
Maybe
for
I
the
need to be
neck.
standing up.
I'm just, can anyone imagine what this yawn sounds like? That it's so bad though. Do we think it's like a kind of like a guttural kind of, or like a kind of like? I'm wondering
I
how
like
that's
a cartoon
so
yawn,
off-putting.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Well,
like a?
I'm picturing like a really deep, like a.
It must make like some
Yeah.
weird
Like a
sound. Do you reckon
foghorn.
a gross guttural sound. Has to be.
But I think it's going in. Like yawning's going in, it's
Yeah.
not going out. Usually like those guttural
It's
sounds
like
come
that,
the other way.
That kind of like dying old man noise.
I do remember there was a girl at my school who used to, every time she yawned, she would just do this hand thing. She would do a hand stretch, and it was just like, it was really cute, but also like, you'd just be in assembly, and she'd yawn, and you'd just see.
Has to do the arm stretches.
So I wonder if it's like, I wonder if it's not even the sound. I wonder if it's like just the everything around it, the package of yawn. You know, the yawn is the trigger moment for everything else to happen. Is there, you know, is there a facial, action? Is there a hand action as well? I don't know.
I'd like to clarify that I'm definitely not a serial killer, because I've yawned about 8 times since this conversation has come
Just
up.
the mention
And
of it.
apparently, if you yawn when yawning is mentioned or someone else yawns, it means you're empathetic and you're not a serial killer. So I just like to point
Nice.
that out. And also,
Yeah,
I
like
just
to be
managed to make all my yawns really quiet. So she definitely can as well.
Yeah, like you can make a dog yawn by doing the same thing.
Okay.
They follow the pattern of like if you're yawning and like, somebody
Wait,
they'll
are
copy
you
it.
saying? Are you yawning because you find what we're saying so boring, Lydia? Are we not being enough entertaining enough
fucking
for
hell,
you?
This is my
Oh,
Is that
there
what's
we go.
happening? Is that what's happening
Look,
here?
it's
How do we
going back
prevent
again.
that? Do you need to get juiced on Red Bull? So the obvious answer is he breaks up with her, right?
Just dump
I mean, it's
her.
easier.
Just dump
It's
her.
easier.
Yeah,
Just dump her.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Don't beat around the
Fuck
bush,
it,
mate.
just-
I wonder if
over.
you can train her like a dog, because you're saying dogs yawn.
What?
Let's bring it
Spray
back to
water
the
in
dog
her
again.
face.
Let's bring it
If
back.
every time you yawn, you just kind of like spray some water in her mouth or something. You know,
Yeah.
just like
No.
Throw
you know,
like throw a
Pavlov's
what's it in
dog
there?
but backwards. You know,
Peanuts.
suddenly her brain starts associating yawning is like, oh, it's horrible.
Always
Pop
stick a
little
finger in her
sweet
mouth.
there.
Blunk.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, if you actually are a dickhead, you can like put your finger in someone's mouth when they're yawning,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
like
the worst.
it literally stops the yawn.
You ruin
Like,
it.
Your brain is just like hard programmed that like if something goes in
Yeah.
your mouth, it just stops the yawn.
So that's what he needs to do. Just as it
Yeah.
so it's a preemptive method where he sees it happening, he needs to be active at all times looking.
Yeah, just put something in her mouth. That's the
Right, there we go.
that's it.
Pop something in her mouth.
With permission, consent and permission
Of
is
course,
always required.
consent,
Yeah.
consent.
Of course.
Well, it's like when someone says bless, like when you're about to sneeze, like you're and someone says
Yeah.
bless you, like you can just lose the sneeze, and it's so frustrating because then it's like just tingling around in your nose. So it's like the same thing if you touch someone's mouth, like it just like hardwire shuts down what you're about to do. I would say maybe have a chat with her. I mean, they probably already have, but maybe just be like, I don't even know how I'm trying to think of a way that someone could say this to me without it irritating me. Like, hey, gorgeous girly whirly boo boo. Just wondering, do you have to be so fucking loud when you do that? Like, I don't really know.
Well, listen to the question. He says it's grotesque. It makes him want to fucking throw up. Like that's
It's
terrible.
fucking grim.
How do you approach someone and say that? Your yawn makes me want to actually be sick.
It makes
Like,
me
how do you
red.
like turn that around and go like that's a positive? let's fix things. It's like, what?
I feel like you got to call it out super casual if you haven't already. Like super casual. Like, wow, that's a weird fucking yawn. Wow, that's
Is that
really
not a weird
fucking
thing you're doing. Maybe
or
you
yawn
fucking
really
don't do
obviously.
that.
Yawn really obviously in her face, but like do it in a quiet way. Like,
Well, I wonder if she's already noticing if he's saying it's grotesque. Like, is he gagging when she yawns? Is he like,
follow through with it.
And
Fully
every
throw
time-
up every time.
yeah,
Grab her
the
mouth
vomit.
from in
Yeah.
her mouth.
yeah,
Stop
yeah.
yawning.
Baby bird.
That was you.
Baby
That's your
bird.
fault.
Baby bird,
bird.
you're sick. That would stop her. That'll
Yeah.
teach you. No more grim yawns. I mean, honestly, please, if you can film one and send it in, I
I want to hear it, or at least just the
With
audio,
consent,
yeah.
with consent.
Just the
Don't
audio.
film people without.
Yeah. You don't even need to film it. We just need to hear what I want to know
Sound
what that
record it,
sounds like.
sound
I'm
record
so
it,
curious
yeah.
now.
If this is like the most normal yawn ever, I'm gonna lose my mind.
I know, yeah. It's just like,
What if it's
dude.
just like a quick "Ugh," or something like just basic ass yawn.
Fuck's sake.
Maybe just do you could do the positive reinforcement route of maybe if she does quite a nice yawn, be like, wow, that was a lovely yawn. Much better than your other one.
Like she's a 2-year-old. Yeah.
Hand her an
Give her a
M&M.
cookie.
Yeah, that's nice. Real nice.
All right.
I mean, good luck with it, mate. I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah,
good
I mean, it
luck,
sounds
yeah.
fucked.
Yeah.
Sorry, speaking of horrible noises that your partner does that you find fucking repulsive. I can just hear one right now, and it annoys
belching.
me so much.
Belch or fart?
Do you guys know of or do yourself anyone that when they brush their teeth, they basically fucking deep throat themselves with a toothbrush and start gagging?
Yep.
No. What you do?
I do
you
it.
do it. Why?
Yeah,
What
I
your
fucking.
Do you do it?
Yeah. What? I scrub the fuck out of my tongue and the roof of my
Right.
mouth, like way back into my throat.
And you
shit.
gag? You go.
Yeah, I go.
You don't need to go that far. Surely.
I have had several partners that do that. I was wondering if it's just like a guy thing. Like I can hear someone brush, and then I just hear. It's
No.
disgusting.
What
Like,
the fuck?
stop
Retching
it.
in general is pretty rough, but yeah, like to
Ravs,
force
mate,
it
you
upon
need to-
themselves.
I mean, that's
What?
It's just disappointing that you're still gagging, to be honest. Mate. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
build
not
up
his
that
fault.
tolerance.
I need to
Is
do
that
the.
what
I
he's
need to do the
training?
thumb trick. Disable my
Yeah,
gag
you need
reflex.
you need a bit of practice, mate. Come on, get it
Yeah.
right back there.
Little tip for everyone at home: you squeeze your left thumb,
Right.
gets rid of the gag reflex.
Right.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
No,
I don't believe
I'm
it.
I'm testing
How do
that
you
later.
know?
You gotta do
gag.
it.
You're the only one here confessing to gagging.
Yeah, what? You don't do
Yeah,
that.
it works, and he's not doing it. He likes
No.
the
He
gag.
He likes it.
I like
Either
it.
it doesn't work or that makes you an idiot. I don't know. It's like,
Someone be brave and try it. Someone do it.
all right, report in on the phone.
Yeah, let us know, let us know.
if that actually works. But the
Um,
toothbrush thing, that's odd that you go that far.
I just like to scrub my tongue.
Yeah. Do you have an electric
Try to-
toothbrush? Is it because electric toothbrush is
I
a
don't
bit
have an
hard to do
electric
that,
one.
yeah.
To be fair, I need to get one.
Yeah.
Which is probably why.
Probably
why I'm just
Vile.
like throat fucking myself.
You can hear,
know
"Oh."
why. I just the idea of Ravs walking, just me walking around the top. You just go.
And it's like it's electric at that point.
All
so
good
it's
now.
like
God, I feel so much better. Ready to start my day. Nice. Good. No, it's healthy. It's good.
Hey guys, right before COVID, I was talking to this girl. Seeing the writing was on the wall, our uni was going to be shut down, we decided to do the business. At her place, we talk for a while, I meet her cat, and it's a good time. We get to mushing rumps, and while I'm in a precarious position,
Mushing rumps.
what is this? My brown hole looking at the ceiling. Did they have to...
Oh,
Did they
okay.
have to specify? Oh my God, where is this going? I see that the cat is not only in the room, but has jumped onto the bed as well. No
No.
problem. However, a
No.
second later, I felt a little paw knock on the entrance to my poop chute. This caused me to instantly lose my boner and become incredibly lost for a given reason why. I was too befuddled to say, the cat bopped my asshole because it sounded so bizarre. I excused myself and after a short conversation, I left. Since this event, I haven't participated in any bedroom rodeo. How do I get my groove and confidence back?
What? That put him off entirely.
I mean, a
You
little
just push
cat
the
bopping
cat
your
off and
asshole.
continue. Like what? Come on!
Asshole.
Don't let the cat
I
stop
think-
things.
I think that this man needs some therapeutic fingering. I think he needs to.
Right, okay.
I think
I did
he's going to
not
have
see
to.
that coming. I did not expect you to say that.
Yeah, I think that this man, you know, has felt. He felt someone push on the door, and he needs
someone.
He needs something.
It was an animal.
He felt a cat push on. He felt a cat push on the door, and I think he needs to.
You're saying this is how he begins his journey down
he gets
anal
past
sex.
it.
This is how.
No.
His gateway was a cat touching his ass.
Different.
I don't know. I might be with Ross on this one. I don't think this is the strat.
What I think is this might be a bit traumatic for the guy, okay? But he's going to have to get past that feeling. He's going to have to push past the feeling of the cat's paw on his ass.
The cat's not going to do it again, Raf.
No. I know, but like he has like the cat has like locked the door and he has to unlock the door.
I think it's the cat that's obviously it's the fact that it's an animal. I mean, most people don't like having sex with their animals in the room because they kind of just stare
at you.
Look, and they're like,
it's really weird.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, like, thank God it was a cat because a dog probably would have like licked his arse or something. Like,
certainly booped him with his nose or something. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be cold, wouldn't it? Like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Jesus.
Cat.
I mean, it's surprising that it's kind of, you know, I'd understand if he was like, you know, it ruined his his mojo for like that girl, and it kind of, you know, it tainted that experience. But he was fine, I swear. But it's like it's completely stopped it all. It stopped all movement in that sector.
He needs a good pegging, honestly. It'll sort him right out. The door needs to be opened. He needs to associate his butthole sensation with something that isn't a cat.
I feel like this is going the wrong way. Like you're you're really leaning into the arsehole thing, and that's.
I don't think that's what it is necessarily. I mean, it could be. You're right. Maybe he's a bit of both. But like, I feel like any animal knocking on the door is kind of like a big no-no or kind of an off-putting moment.
Yeah,
especially with a stranger or someone who you've never done it with before. But normally you would just brush the cat out and just be like,
get off, and you'd laugh.
The fact that you left, like, there's so many more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny actually. Like I would have said that in the moment.
Whoa, your cat just touched my ass.
He's kind of fucked himself by not saying it.
I've had a vaguely similar thing.
You are really encouraging that. Really, Raz.
Really wants him to.
I feel like he's got to, like, do your friends know? Do you know what I mean? Is this not a story that you're regaling to your mates? Like, it sounds like he hasn't coped with it yet. He's kind of admitting it. He's guilty about this cat bump.
Any of you have cats? You've got cats, Lydia.
I've got cats. Well, I
just ever intrude?
Well, I was just saying I've had a similar thing happen, and then I realised everyone's going to think I've had my arsehole bopped by Hastings or something. That is literally not the case. I've very specifically, the cats are locked out of any room because it freaks me out because they will just come and sit on the bed and stare at you, and it's so off-putting. But like 10 years ago, I was with my boyfriend at the time, and the cat that I had at the time jumped up onto his back and just like curled up into a loaf position. And it was just like
but it's funny. Do you know what I mean?
Was the bro like a slow lover, clearly a gentle lover? If he could literally have a cat nestle onto his back.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a Jesus moment. That's like a kind of like Disney princess-esque Jesus moment, you know, at one with nature. Look at this man.
But it was, it was definitely
calm
uncomfortable.
wave on a beach.
But I can't imagine. I imagine you just brushed it off and that didn't
carried
stop
on. But he was my boyfriend, so maybe it was less awkward. So it wasn't like someone like a one-night stand met in for the first time or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely always a risk when you have animals. I think you either have to accept, if you leave the door open, you have to accept that they're going to stare and watch you or try and curl up on the bed, or you have to, you could be having your passionate lip making out face session, as they say, and then you have to break that up and go and take the cats, pick them up one by one, close the door, which does ruin the moment, but rather that than getting your asshole bopped.
Yeah, my other way would be claws. I guess that could be a concern. Because if your ass is getting bopped and then you get a little bit scratched, hang on.
Oh my God.
That's close to the danger zone. Yeah.
Oh, imagine it fucking scratched his asshole. That would have been really bad.
Not cool.
Fuck.
But
that's traumatizing. God, what would Rav suggest for that? He'd be like, you got to get some knives. You got to start fucking slicing up your asshole. It's the only way.
Or something.
Well, I'm just saying that man had a disconnect. If you got a scratched arsehole, just get like some pseudo cream and rub it on there or something. I don't know, some nice ointment.
I do. As much as we laugh at Raz, I do wonder if there's some truth to this. I wonder if it has kind of awoken something.
I think that he is scared, and he associates like any sensation with his butthole or sex now with a cat pawing his ass. And I'm like, if you are suddenly, getting pegged or whatever, or you're sticking a finger up there, someone's sticking a finger up there,
but it's not always like
you associate it with something else.
Scenario. You were saying like you should always be prepared, and then just accept it when it happens. I think it's more of a case of he was busy doing something else, then suddenly, bam, cat bop, and he's surprised. It's like a whoa,
but it's
that took me out of the zone.
Out of all,
and maybe
it's locked him out.
Yeah. He needs to get back in the zone. But I mean, you should get used to washing his asshole if he's worried about touching it. Just touch it when you
that's
clean
a good
it.
idea.
Clean your butthole.
True.
Practice
I
cleaning
guess
your butthole.
Show a couple fingers in there. Come on.
Yeah.
It's also probably
Why not
getting
3? Maybe 4. Get a whole fucking
fist,
fist
why
up
not?
there. Yeah.
Same way I brush
Why
my
not?
teeth. Do it to your ass.
Gag that fucking thing.
grab an electric
Just
toothbrush.
make sure it's a different brush.
Jesus Christ.
I imagine like a lot of it though is the embarrassment that it seems to be that like the sex ended and he didn't. And so maybe, I guess what you're saying, Raz, right? He was kind of not humiliated, but he was embarrassed in that scenario. She doesn't know the cat bopped him. She just thought he suddenly lost his boner. And
that's weird. How do you explain that?
Yeah.
How do you explain that when you
and now it's put him off having sex because he's probably worried he's going to lose his boner again, right?
Yeah.
There's that.
So I guess
there's
maybe
a psychological element there as well.
Psychological element. So
definitely. Yeah.
Is that why you're saying he needs to finger his asshole with an electric toothbrush?
I don't think
Raz?
you could spend.
No, because now you guys are making me think like, maybe it's a performance anxiety thing. So like,
It could be.
Maybe he doesn't need a good arsehole fingering. Maybe he needs like some like positive affirmation. He needs like a He's like a nice.
But things like
he's like that's a nice hard dick.
Yeah.
Like that,
well, the story doesn't
He
explain.
needs-
The story
he
doesn't
needs-
explain what she did after that happened. Like maybe she flipped out on him, or was like, "What's going on? Like, why aren't you getting hard, bro?" Then that's when
I feel like
the psychological
I
element
think that might be
come into
part of
play.
it.
Yeah.
I feel like her reaction to him not explaining, and then her she obviously that suddenly.
Yeah.
Does she feel awkward?
Just a cat,
I feel
bro.
like-
Fuck you.
Oh God,
It's weird
let
for
the cat
me.
touch your asshole.
Strange. It's a cat.
I think you can do it. You gotta
Find someone you're comfortable
doing
with.
great.
That's the key to it. Find someone you're actually comfortable with, and you'll be fine in the next time. Just don't rush
And
into
if-
it, and
Get
make
pegged.
sure the door's closed and get pegged. All of those
And if
things.
worse comes to worse, just audio clip Rav saying, "That's enough." I'm not going to say it, actually. I refuse to let it be clipped. Rav's congratulating you. And just play that in your headphones as you're doing
You can
it.
do it, buddy. Woo!
That's a nice cock, sir. Come on, let's go.
Nice and deep. Nice and deep.
Good. It's good. It's nice to encourage each other, right?
Yeah.
Good and
Just a
wholesome.
couple of bros helping a bro get the dicks hard. It's just helping a bro out,
bros
man.
on bros.
Come on, man.
What's the worst activity for a date? Not something that would damage the relationship, but something you'd both look back on and cringe at the memory. The worst activity for a date. Things which involve getting messy, I guess, right, to start with, is kind of
Yeah.
like, normally you avoid that, or spicy food, or things like that kind of like, I don't know,
I
weird
feel like-
smells and mess. Are never a
Should
good
we-
first
should we
impression,
add-
right?
Should we add to this first date? Because I feel like
Yeah.
for a date, it can.
Yeah.
It's very open, but for a first date, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things I would not do on a first date. Like,
Yeah, like I've learned that cinema was bad. I went to cinema as first date, awful first date. You just sit next to each other,
Yeah.
you don't chat until like after the movie
It's
or before the movie.
awkward.
It's like weird.
It's just it's kind of a non-starter, right? Like you don't really,
Yeah.
like you can't talk. Like it's very much just what do you think of the film? Oh, that's all right. Yeah, okay. See you later.
like I kind of feel like
Yeah.
like first dates where you go and you're like, you're with a load of your mates. It's kind of a coin flip. It can either be really fun and they fit in, or just like a complete disaster. Like you're way too much pressure. All the friends are there. Like I feel like those are kind of my worst nightmares of like, oh, it's just all too much. It's all too much. I feel like you got to focus. Brad's right. Like focusing on communication together is like what usually makes it great.
So what's the worst date though?
Yeah.
What could be
What would
actually
be cringe? Cringe. Like what's
Cringe.
cringy? What's something where you put yourself in a really like vulnerable
Like karaoke
position?
stuff like that. If you're not good at it,
Karaoke's
that can be like a fucking nightmare.
I feel like
Karaoke.
Sober karaoke.
In a specific
Yeah.
scenario, sure, but I think karaoke, if anything, is more of a funny kind of like you have funny stories about it, right? 'Cause
Yeah, it's
even
an
if it is dumb,
inebriating-
it's like. Whereas you need something that's like just awkward
about-
and
First date, antenatal class. you got a
Fucking
first
hell.
date to one of those things where they
God.
show the baby being born and
Oh my
stuff.
God.
God, I mean, just on that
Yeah,
note, like
that would be.
funeral's got to be like,
Oh my
Funeral's
nice,
That's a
but
god!
bad
like,
one,
fuck, you're like, sorry, I can't make the cinema. Do you want to come to like, my nan's funeral?
Yes.
Like, fucking
Even worse.
hell.
Yeah.
Hey babe, no, we're going on a date and you're with me, right? But can we go see my dying grandfather in hospital?
Oh, it's just,
hospice,
he's on the
is it?
way
Yeah.
out.
He's on the way out. Like, will
Yeah.
you come with me?
Pretty grim first start.
I mean, like first date to like, your ex's birthday party. That's like, stuff like that. That's top
Oh.
tier. That's omega levels of cringe.
Oh, that's
they've-
bad.
And they've only bought you to make the ex jealous, and it's so obvious. And you're just there like,
Yeah, that's
What
pretty
about
bad.
a wedding? Is a wedding a weird one?
I don't know. It depends. Obviously, if they don't know anyone, then sure. But otherwise,
A first date wedding.
it's actually it's probably quite good because it's
quite fun.
more often than not nice event. Things are happening.
Yeah.
There's
Lots of
normally a bit of a
booze.
free bar, so a bit
Yeah.
of dancing. It's probably not a bad one. I guess it depends if
I think-
if it's your ex up there. It's like
I feel like
that was my ex. That's why I'm here. Yeah.
Great times. I feel like first dates are always awkward and fumbling anyway. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I feel like it doesn't. I feel like any of them could end up really cringy and awful because they always are a little bit kind of awkward in that way.
Well, sports that you're not very good at, or physical.
Like Tough Mudder or something.
yes,
like,
I was
Yeah,
thinking that.
yeah, yeah.
Like, if I
You
did
just
Tough Mudder
embarrass
for
yourself.
a first date, I would just be like sobbing hysterically. It would be awful. I'd probably broken a
Yeah.
bone as well, and they'd just be like, fuck, I need to get out of here. How do I leave this hysterical, crippled woman?
Have you guys ever had mates who are in like really terrible bands, but they ask you to come to their gigs?
Yes.
Because if you're either
In the
in that
past.
band or you're going to see your friend's band and you ask someone to come with you to that is maybe one of the
Oh,
worst.
but that also
'Cause
feels like something that you can, if you're
You can
aware of
bond
it
on.
and you're ready to laugh
Yeah.
with them, that could be a really fun bonding night. I
Unless
don't
you're
know.
the one on
Okay,
stage.
but
and
what if
shit.
you're in the band and you
Yeah.
think you're actually good, but
Different.
you're actually just
Yeah.
hot dog shit?
But yeah, that makes me cringe. And,
And then you
be
like
polite.
dedicate a song
Oh
to
god!
your
Like,
date.
I mean, to
No.
double down on that, like
Yeah.
spoken word poetry. Like, come along to my spoken word poetry night.
Oh god.
That would be. Oh, that is making me
Fuck.
physically cringe. The thought of that is like so.
And then you like dedicate a
awkward.
poem to them.
Oh
This
no!
one's for you.
Sam I am, green
Oh,
eggs
God.
and ham.
Oh,
Have you ever been on a really cringy date, or is it? Dating's different now, isn't it?
Yeah, I
I don't
don't.
know. Like,
I don't really think so. I feel like. Usually my dates are shit. Like they're all pretty low key. I feel like I'm not a big
so
like.
bigged up to be. It's a date. It's kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
we're happy to be hanging out, going to this thing, or whatever.
Yeah, just going to a restaurant, wandering around a city. I feel like I like wandering
Yeah.
around a city as a date. I feel like that's always fun. Wandering around a new city is like good. I feel like going to a place that both people don't know is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
I actually had more positive experiences than bad experiences with dates.
Yeah, same.
Don't know about you guys. Do we have any shockers? Anyone got any ones that they really look
know.
back on and don't like? Because the date itself was like a bad location or activity.
Catfished and cinema, boom.
Catfish and cinema, that's a nightmare. That is a nightmare. That's just
The double
that is-
whammy.
Yeah.
Start next to
Yeah.
fucking. Sorry, I'm Jonty. I'm 47.
had BO, smelled really bad,
No.
was
Wait,
awkward,
really?
was not great. Yeah,
Well, the
yeah.
film's about to
No,
start,
I didn't
so
have BO, they had BO.
I had BO.
Yeah. No.
Who'd you
Dude, I'd
catfish?
be smelling nice as shit all the time. Okay.
Bruh.
God, that's the worst as well because you can't leave that. You're stuck there for like 2 hours.
Yeah. I like that was a good
Oh.
movie.
Yeah, I can't. And did you just get up and go? Like, how did you end the day?
Yeah, we went back on. We were getting the same train back as well. It was a nightmare. So I was just like, all right, bye. Didn't even get up or anything. I was like, see ya.
Oh, God. That is grim.
It was
That's a
either that
nightmare.
or just like I went to a nice restaurant where we just didn't gel with each other at all. It was like a really weird date trying to like get through the conversation. That's probably the two worst dates. I've been
Closed
on.
conversation. Yeah, like when you chat to
Yeah.
someone, they just close it off, or they don't elaborate.
Yeah, like
on
if you're
stuff.
trying
It's
to
like,
make an effort and they're just
yes
like,
or no's, okay.
yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
Not,
Not really adding anything.
Yeah,
never ask
that's
you
the
anything,
that would be more
yeah.
cringe, I think. Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
in some scenarios.
What about you guys? Ross, you got any bad experiences, Lids?
I haven't dated loads, to be fair, enough to have negative stories. Went ice skating once on a date. That was pretty good.
That seems like it'd be a good one, actually.
Sounds fun.
Yeah.
Unless she like horrifically breaks her leg or something, but like,
yeah, obviously it can go either way. But
Chop
no,
a
I think we
finger
were
off
both
or
alright.
something
But I always worry about that when I.
I always worry about that.
You see some people go down, and you're like, oh fuck, their finger could just get sliced off at any second.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's worrying. Although I've never heard of it happening.
No, it must.
But no, bowling. I'm terrible at bowling, so I would probably not choose bowling.
I think bowling's kind of a good
like
one.
Bowling, don't you, Lydia?
I love bowling. I think
I feel
bowling's
like
a great
even if
date.
you are awful, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of meh.
I know, but like
Whatever.
gutter ball after gutter ball, it starts to get pretty cringe.
It's more just depressing for you, not for
like,
anyone
put the
else.
barriers up. Come on, help me out.
It would be cringe if the person was like a mega sore loser and they just got
Yeah.
really angry and like it
really
became
too much,
awkward because they kept losing, and then that would be cringe, like playing a
You gotta laugh it
competitive
off.
game. You gotta have, like, if you're shit, you gotta laugh
you could be
about
like, oh well.
Oh well.
And then use the frame
suppose-
next time.
it.
Make it.
I
Yeah,
suppose, like-
both of you push it.
Like dinner or a restaurant could be bad if, like, depending on where you take them. If you take them somewhere really shit, or you go there and you order some like disgusting, messy shit, like you're eating oysters, you're like fucking slurping them out of the thing.
Oysters,
or you like
yeah.
order
Oh.
like fucking just the messiest, sauciest thing in the
Sticky
world. You've got like
ribs.
sauce all over your face and like
Fuck,
you're fucking like bibbing yourself. Like
I was in London at a steak restaurant, and this my partner and this other couple came and sat like next to us at the table next to us, and they were on like a first time date, but the guy was absolutely hammered off of his face, like didn't know where he was, had no idea what he was doing. They had just met. It was like 8 in the afternoon, 8 in the
Oh
evening,
my
like
God.
still pretty early to be like as hammered as he was.
To be
And they,
wankered.
they like had met outside the restaurant, came down, and she was just like, yeah, this is like, you know, just completely like chatting openly because he just was so drunk he didn't even understand what she was saying.
Oh my
She's like, yeah,
God.
oh no, we're never meeting up again after this. Like, but you know,
That's a
I'll
red
have the
flag,
meal.
is
Like,
that-
thanks. Just hilarious. Just watching
Oh
him
my
just
God,
be, like trying to
no.
order. I
Just
ordered
fumble
for
it.
him in the end because he couldn't even like read the menu.
oh my god,
Oh my God.
holy shit!
But
That's
it was
Yeah,
so
that's not
bad.
a good look in
Like,
general.
for
You're going to
him,
be that
if he-
wasted. Yeah.
If he remembers any of it, it will be the worst, cringiest date of his life.
Oh,
For
yeah.
her,
Oh, yeah.
I think she just had a blast because she was just like, he's absolutely wankered. Like, what do you do? What do you get up and leave, or you just sit there and you just laugh about it? Like,
God, I don't know.
Yeah.
God, if
he
I
was
was...
like, he was like dropping shit, stumbling out. Like, I'm surprised their table didn't fall over. It was fucking hilarious.
That is so cringy. I would not be able to, like, I wouldn't be able to focus on my date because I would just be eavesdropping in on everything they were saying.
I basically just spent the entire night just watching them. I was just like, this is fucking great. This is great entertainment.
Oh my God. I love listening to
that
first
is
dates.
cringy.
I love it when you're on a date and like you can hear the people near you on a first date. I love listening.
It's cute.
Yeah,
I think
it's cute. It's like, what kind of stuff are you into? And all that adorable stuff.
And you're like,
love it.
it's not going to last. This isn't
Nah,
going to last.
they-
They don't have
they-
similar
Yeah.
interests.
No, they don't have chemistry and they're struggling. They're running out of conversation.
Funny.
What if it's like a perfect date, but at the end they're just really rude to the waiter?
Oh,
That would be like massive cringe. And it's like, oh, red flag.
oh,
that would be
fuck.
a
I feel like you just
deal
snapped a bit of my heart. Oh,
would be.
no.
It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, come on, like what? No
I
way.
hate that.
That would be awful. Imagine you get on really well, they're really lovely, really charming, and at the end they just treat the waiter like shit. It would just be like,
Yeah.
oh, that'd be awful. Good way to judge character though, how they treat
Yeah.
people
True.
in service and retail and things like that. So better to know early on, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. I think they dodged a fucking bullet. That's,
Yeah.
that is a good one. All right, should we wrap it up there? I think
Okay,
that's a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ross, thank you so much for
Thank
for
you,
joining
Ross.
us.
Anytime.
Hope you enjoyed.
It's good fun. Yeah.
Not too wacky questions. I think we managed to stay pretty a lot of sex related stuff, but that's kind of usual.
Yeah. The
Isn't it?
wackier the
And-
better. It's all good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Sexually to stuff that wasn't just pure vile awful shit this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we had one when we
I mean,
did you hear when Pyrian was on? We had one about poo in his foreskin and stuff like.
I think you told me about this one. Yeah,
just
like
not good.
and some sort of cleaning it out of your friend's foreskin, right?
It's just it's not good
Yeah.
stuff.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, that's pretty rough.
How would you
pretty
answer that
sexy.
one? Would you clean?
What
poo
would I
out
clean
of
my
one of your
friend's?
foreskin when he's really drunk? Would you do that?
It's probably if I was out drinking with him, I'd probably be too drunk and I wouldn't even consider it. Like it wouldn't be on my flag. But if he was like, oh man, no, I probably wouldn't.
No, it's
I'd probably put him in the shower and give him like maybe a rinse over. But I'm not getting hands on.
Smithy showed up at your door. It's like 9 p.m. at night. He's been day drinking. He's wankered.
Nice.
And he smells like shit. And he's like, Ross, help me! I've got shit in me foreskin. That's Smithy, by the way.
That's
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
The friendliest. Oh man, I mean, I don't think I've even seen either of their dicks before. But like, if he suddenly started showing me his dick and it was
That
covered in
surprises me. What the hell?
there's no scenario that very few scenarios where that would happen. But yeah,
Not even at the urinal?
Not even a cheeky
not really.
peeker? Come on.
They don't look.
No cheeky peeks.
No
I don't know if
cheeky
they're big or small. I mean,
You know,
I assume small.
but in this scenario, they're
Obviously,
covered in
naturally.
poo. That's the scenario.
They're
we're
covered in
posing.
shit. Okay, straight into the shower. Shower head on jet stream. I'll be like, you pull it back. I'm not looking.
Teamwork, baby.
Right,
How
okay,
films
here's a
work.
towel, mate. I'm fucking off to bed. This is disgusting. Let's never talk of this. We will talk of it, of course. It'll come up in a hat chat or something, but yeah.
That's a true friend. There we go.
But yeah. But no, we talk about that weird stuff all the time on our podcast as well. It's pretty disgusting.
Ask Ross and
But it's fine.
Ask Trot and Smith what they would do. I'm interested. What would they do?
About
Would
the foreskin. Okay, the conundrum
Yeah. They
with
get
the
back to
foreskin.
them.
I will ask him in the next podcast. Yeah.
Nice. Of course, go listen to Hat Chat. Wonderful Hat Films podcast, which is probably equally as vile as this podcast.
It's the
some
funny news.
episodes, yeah.
Because it's not always fun. It's kind of just gross half the time, and they're real stories, normally sensationalized. But yeah,
It's good shit. It's
pretty
very good
weird
shit.
stuff there.
And of course, you can submit your questions to 0 Degrees at pickaxe.uk/0 Degrees. Loads of different links, all in the description. And leave a review if you enjoyed. Leave a little comment. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Ross, for joining us as well.
Shout out to our
no worries. Yeah, thanks
Patreons
for
as
having me.
well.
Yeah, Patreons. With no tiers. Ross, we have no tiers on our
Smash
Patreon.
that.
We still haven't made any.
No tiers.
But we've got patrons now.
What tiers would you have? Just like kind
I'm
of
not sure. We've kind of brainstormed a lot, but we haven't decided.
because
we
we've not.
need
We
to
don't. I
decide.
don't think for ours we don't have like. I think we got like 3 because obviously we got the podcast, the D&D one as well,
Yeah.
and otherwise it's kind of just a supporting thing because YouTube and whatever is kind of shit these days. But
Yeah, it's kind of terrible.
so yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah,
I'll check
Go
out what you
sub
guys
up
have
to their
got. I
Patreon.
might have to just copy what you guys have got.
yeah, have a look. Yeah, like I mean, it's basically just they get the podcast a little bit earlier
Yeah.
Nice.
and they can download
that's
it.
great. It's not going to work
there's
for us
no,
because
there's-
we recorded the night before every day.
yeah, well, that's the thing. We were the same, but now we do it. We stagger it so that it makes more sense for someone who's actually paying money.
Yeah, for sure.
And also they get the download, which means that they don't have to listen to ads because then we put ads on the main ones.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
There's a
Well,
couple of
sounds like a great
benefits.
deal.
It's
So
not
maybe
crazy, but it
while
also
you're-
just
while you're
supports
subscribing to the Zero
the people
Degrees
doing it.
Patreon, you can also check out the Hat Chat Patreon. Go on down.
Sure.
Click it.
Try the podcast first, see what you think. Otherwise, it's pointless. But yeah,
Otherwise, I don't know what you're doing.
yeah. Why are you subbing? Yeah.
All right. We'll leave it there then. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it. And thank you, Ross, for joining us. We'll catch you all later.
Cool.
Bye.
Thanks, Ross.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Ciao.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.